beep. Okay, so as carefully as I can, I'm going to try this. So this is my 1990 5-liter LX coupe, and the back brakes are seized. They're not working, and the reason that they're not working is because the wheel cylinders, or whatever they are, yeah, the rear wheel cylinders are stuck. So when you push on the brakes, the little plungers don't come out and they don't move the brakes. So I was in my auto parts store the other day buying leak stop for basically everything. It's an old car, everything leaks. And I asked them, you got wheel cylinders for this thing? What do they cost? $12.99 each. So I bought two. So I have new ones. But in order to put those on, what you have to do is obviously take the wheel off and the drum off as far as I've gone as well. By the way, the vehicle's jacked up and there's a jack stand under it and it's blocked at the front too. Always safety first, and shake tested to make sure nothing's going to move on me. Okay, so anyhow, you got to remove all of this brake assembly, and then there's a couple of bolts holding that cylinder on, and of course I'm going to try and see if I can get this in here. There is, I can't see it, but the brake line should be right about there. That has to come off, and as old as this car is, I think that doesn't look too bad. I could do it. But that's what you have to do in order to get it freed up, or to get it out, and then you can put in the new cylinder, which looks just like that. I was going to bring one out and show you, but I forgot. So I'm going to set this down here somewhere if I can, just to perhaps help. Now I'm going to show you what I did. Super quick, super easy fix. And I just thought I'm going to give this a try. There's no guarantees. It may work for a day, it may not work at all. It may be just good enough for the whole season, and then next year have to do it all over again. Ultimately, you should bleed your brakes, put in new parts, and always be tip-top of safety. But anyhow, if you're a hack artist like me, so what I did is I went in here and I pushed on the piston. And on this side I pushed on it as well, back and forth, until it was feeling free and without the resistance. But anyways, that's a terrible accent. Let me try. So at first it was tap, tap, tap with a hammer to get this to move and that, but now I can pretty much get these, let's see if I get on here. I don't have much leverage. There we go. You can see that, but back and forth. So I'm able to move that brake fluid on there, okay? So let me set this down here. What I've done, there's two pistons in there, and when you push on the brakes, they spread out and push the brake shoes out. So if freeing that up is going to work, pushing on the brake pedal will cause that to move, and I'm going to do that next. There should be some boost left from running the engine, so I'm going to use this and reach in and push on the brake pedal. You watch to see if that moves. Here we go. Brake pedal in 3, 2, 1. I think I missed it. Hang on, let me try again. Another, oh, I might have lost the boost. Hang on here. Okay. It working? Yep. Okay. So there you have it. So instead of taking all that stuff off and maybe needing a new brake line and all that, whatever condition of corrosion your vehicle is in, these are all old cars. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go around and do that to the other side as well next, and take it for a spin and see how that works. Life's good. So sometimes you don't have to replace the parts. Maybe you can just free that up and keep going. You look at this here. Eh? This is bushing. It's the DualShock thing. Everything's old. Hey, it's an old car. It's an old Canadian car, guys. I'll show you the trunk a little bit here. It's my jack and my original spare and all that. A couple of drips got in here from from the heavy rain. That's the, you know, the cardboard thing on top. So this got a little wet here. So that's recent damage to some water here. Otherwise, a pretty good, pretty tight ship for an old dog or whatever it is. Life is good. So stay tuned. I'll show you what, or maybe I won't. Yeah, cut. I thought maybe you guys want to see what I do here, how to do this. So I've already taken the wheel off, obviously, but that's just a noisy rat-a-tat with one of these, you know, that's a lot of money for something like this, and the impact nuts and stuff, or sockets, but it's worth it. Gets the job done properly, safely, efficiently, without damage. Anyhow, so now this just has to come off, which is the brake drum, and on this car it just seems to just come off nice and easy. Of course, the parking brake is not on, so there we go. That hasn't been off in who knows how many years. That's what it looks like on the inside. There's a stuff, and the brake shoes look pretty cobwebs, some rust, and so on. And just like the other side, this side isn't moving. So if I go to push here on the cylinder, I can get it to go. Oh, that's going. Try this side. This side's stuck. Okay. So, forgot my hammer. 1 second. Always have to forget something when you're filming. It reminds me of, I'm going to fix my brakes with a hammer, okay? Which reminds me of a guy who used to work in a shop, and they called him Tap Tap Tony. His name was Tony, and every time he showed up at the shop, he was always tapping on something with a hammer. And so the joke was that he fixed everything that came in with a hammer, and that's just what I'm going to do here. So this one's not moving. I'm just going to get on it and force it to go. This is quivering a bit, so it is moving now. And just get a feel for this here. See if I get it. That's still not budging very much. Drive it down a little more. That's wedging stuff. Okay. Try this side. That side pushes nice. This side's not pushing. So spring's in the way, but let's just see if we can. Still stuck. All right. So lost my cushion here. On the other side, both barrels, I don't want to really be sitting under the car here. Both barrels were stuck, okay? On the other side, there's 2 pistons in there. This one goes this way, this one goes that way, and the brake fluid goes in between them, and right? Yeah, okay, there's brakes 101. But we already discussed that. Oh, it's moving now. I can see that's moving because even with my hand, I can watch the other one. But this gets go. You should be able. These should glide back and forth. You know, like smooth sailing, la da 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 da. Kind of like a cruise ship with nobody in it. Smooth sailing. You know why cruise ships are smooth sailing when there's nobody in them? 2 reasons. 1, they're not going anywhere. That's moving now. And 2, nobody to complain. Oh, the ship is so bumpy. I digress. So see now, I'm getting these pistons to move back and forth. So my next thing is going to be, I'm going to do this for quite a while, actually, just to make sure. It doesn't feel great. It feels a little gritty in there. So those inside of the bores rusted. These things should be replaced. But if this makes it work, then I'm happy with that. This is so shitty. This side's nice. This side's a little, it's getting better. There's some brake fluid on there, or some dirt. I'll try and get them both going here. You can see. So I put the big one on this side, push. Little one on this side, push. All right. So at some point, I may have squeezed all of the brake fluid out
and those two pistons are close together. So when the brake fluid goes in, it's going to have to re-spread them back, but they seem to be going back and forth anyways. Now there may be fluid in the middle, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I would assume there's fluid in there, and I was just pushing it back and forth. Or maybe we're shoving it all back into the master cylinder up front, I don't know. But I'm going to push on the brake pedal in a minute, and I'm going to see if this opens up like it should. Because that's what has to happen for the brakes to be working. And this one's, it doesn't feel very good. This side don't feel good. Maybe I'm just grabbing the spring here. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe I was just missing it. That feels okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I might have been just scraping around. There's some, I need some brake fluid now. So that's what I want to see. Why do I want to see that? Because it means it's working. Leaking past it, or I'm jamming. It's a perfect system. This car is old. Everything leaks. The whole, it needs an everything job. Everything's safe, but I mean, it could use, you know, new struts, new bushings, new fuel filter, new everything, just new stuff. And that's just an old car now, but it's cheap to insure it. $100 a year for insurance, 109 or 120 maybe, something, maybe it's 120 now. $120 a year for insurance for the whole thing. Limitations on that insurance, of course, but anyhow, that gets you on the road with a car on occasion. It's cheaper than a motorcycle. Go figure. So, okay, now I'm going to push in the brake pedal if I can and see if that works. So you guys are going to be able to see it better than me. If it works, that is. Which, theoretically, it should. This thing, and this thing. I'm going to get my stick to do it so I can see it too. Hang on. Here, I can push on the brake pedal. If there's any boost left, I'll see this move. Nothing. It's not moving. Oh, there we go. There we go. And the other one, they'll move against each other. Yeah, just out of boost, that's all. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Non-power brakes there. So that's it. So, as far as I know, that's fixed. It's going to work. I haven't test drove it yet, but the next thing to do, I'll show you. The really hard part now is reassembling everything. Make sure those are close together. The parking brake cable's busted, so not even worth thinking about that. Another day I'll get another one. It's broke right off. I wonder where the rest of it is. Anyways, what was I? So putting it back together. Just do your inspection, make sure you fix that parking brake that I didn't. Put that back on. And then, you know, the tire and the ratchet thing and the torque wrench and test drive. So stay tuned for that. You probably want to come along for the ride. It takes about 400 kilometers or so with this car to even out the idle after the battery's reconnected. So that's why it's running so bad. It's actually not, it's impossible to set this in any good way here. So the car's running Sounds like it's running bad, but it's finding itself. It's the computer's learning where it's supposed to be. If I drove it around for a couple hours, it would smooth out. Well, it would still be rough, but that's the cam. But it would smooth out better than what it is. Anyways, this is to go out checking the brakes. So let's just see if that works. Better. Already it feels better. It was just diving on the fronts before, so I don't know if it's just that's right. Wind noise. Because I got the windows open. Do 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 do. This is my neighborhood. Do 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 do. That's a yield sign, but I'm gonna try stopping. Mission accomplished. Those brakes work. That's good. Now I can go around the block nice and safe. Oh, I hope the brakes work. The brakes work. Yes, the brakes are working. Yay, the brakes are working. I gotta put the camera down so someone will see me doing something I shouldn't be doing, which is what I'm doing, which is wrong. Don't ever do this. Around the block, my house. This is where it goes. Good breaky breaky. Try not to make too much fuss, but you know, that's life. Smack. Here we go. Okay, Garmin, stop recording. Okay, so now it's running smooth. I'm not hunting back and forth while it's warmed up and drove around a little bit, and it's better. So I think the throttle plate could also use a good cleaning. I don't have any spray right now, throttle cleaner. I used it all up on the lawnmowers, but I'll get some more. So. Alright, nice and responsive, and then right back down. A little lumpy. I don't know if you can see outside. About reaching out. Brakes work good. Didn't have to change any parts. Hopefully it lasts all season. And that's a quick, easy fix without having to take any parts off. So that could save the day, guys. If you got a stuck brake and you know, limited resources or tools, or you're somewhere and you can't you know, get access to the parts or whatever else, you can free it up. It's just stuck by rust and shit, and the whole thing needs to be flush clean. But in the meantime, it's back to working pretty good. I had no issues out there stopping. It's all four tires are grabbing good, so they're all four brakes. So life is good. An old Mustang. Yeah, man.